those pesky little relapses. Okay? They can be painful. They can be hard to deal with. You know, because nobody wants to fail. You know, they didn't get into the AA program with the intent of failing. You know, even when they felt hopeless or they meet somebody with 30 something years and they're like, well, shit, I only have, a couple days, 30 years without drinking, that's impossible. You know, it's all possible, but it's one day at a time. But it's when those people that have, some substantial time, you know, I've never been to an AA club where somebody relapsed. They came back in, and, the first thought was, shit, they're going to laugh at me. They're going to point fingers. They're going to say, well, you worked a shit program. They never say that. You know, it's quite the opposite. They usually say, we're glad you made it. Welcome back. They give them a hug. They let them know it's okay. But that's the thing about our minds. When it starts getting distorted with drugs and alcohol, is we just make some shit up. Doctor's opinion says, quite clearly it says we can't distinguish the true from the false. The alcoholic life seems the only normal one. You know, that's sober. So you can imagine what'll happen when you put drugs and alcohol into the mix. You know, lately because of this Mercury retrograde shit, we've been watching a lot of people with time. You know, 2 years, 3 years, 4 or 5 years, go back out and then come back in, and it's been very hard on them. A lot of them have taken it hard. But there's a guy that I know that his name's Scottish Polly, and I relapsed. And it was a one night stand. It was dry goods, and he said, you know, did you forget everything that you learned? I said, well, apparently. And he said, no, I mean altogether. Here you are the next day. You're starting over again with a desire chip. Did you forget everything that you've learned over the past 3 years, 8 months, and 26 days? I said, well, no. I mean, I didn't forget it. I mean, but apparently I fell short on something. He's like, right, you may have fallen short, but did you forget it? It's like, well, no. I said, well, now you have a new experience that you can add to it. See, you got a lot of these one chip wonders out there. I don't know what that is, but, because I've never been one. I do know what it's like to drop the ball and ding dong it. And nobody needs to be hard on me for it. I can be hard on myself plenty. The, you know, the truth is a lot of people don't make it back, for whatever reason. Not because they're happier that they're drinking again. They're generally a hell of a lot more miserable. Uh, but there's that mental quirk that don't know what happened. Why did we drop the ball? And then we beat ourselves up. That shame, that guilt, that fear, and everything comes back into play. Somebody was telling me today they don't know how to get back into the rooms. You know, on the surface, that seems like an absurd kind of statement. Well, you just walk in the door. You start over again. You know, or I mean, you do a 10th step on it, move on with your life. But it's almost like that fire that got us in here on the first time is gone and snuffed out. And I've experienced it. It's hard to want to come back in. You know, it doesn't get better. The book says clearly, it says, you know, maybe you'll change your mind after you've had more pain, which means you're guaranteed pain. You know, we say in the program also, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When it comes to like working the steps and working with others, and putting off family time so that you can, go to meetings and stuff, and you know, but really, historically, I mean, I've been uncomfortable being uncomfortable. I wasn't comfortable when I was drinking and drugging. You know, I was drinking and drugging because it got rid of some of that discomfort, even though deep down inside I knew it was wrong. You know, Bill relapsed 3 times. That's a fact. Before he finally got it. You know, there's a guy who committed suicide in his house, it says in the last paragraphs on Bill's story. In his house. I mean, this is the Messiah of AA, in the Grand Vatican of AA. You figure there'd be protection there, but there's not. Alcohol comes all over the place, everywhere. You know, if you're struggling with a relapse, punishing yourself didn't help you out before. You got sober. Trying to get sober again, punishing yourself is not going to help anymore. It's a useless talent at this point. You know, get back up, pick up your big girl panties and put them on. You know, clean the sand out of your butt crack and get going. You know, all of this is doable. I know because I am not a one hit wonder. And I bounced around for a long time. And I wish I could say that I had, 29 years sobriety and I got it right the first time, but I did. I had to go learn some stuff and I drifted further away from God every day. Some of my prayers where I'm praying, God, can you put me back into the program? Can you relieve me of the drinking again? You did it once. Can you do it again? Well, yeah, sure you can. But I ventured way over there. I now have to make the journey back. You know, and once I get there, he's like, all right, I helped you get here. Now let's get back to work. So if you're struggling with a relapse, whether you're thinking about going out, I don't recommend it. Or if you're just coming out of one, it's okay. Cut yourself some slack. Get back to work. You know, it's definitely worth it. You know, God has a purpose for you. And for that person who asked me, you know, or who said that they didn't know how to get back into the rooms, I asked 2 questions. And you know, one of them is, what's stopping you? The other one is, what can I do to help you to find. Oh man, I gotta read this because it sounded better when I wrote it. Give me just a second. It says, what's keeping you away, and what may I do to inspire you to the greatness of your God given potential? I just want to be helpful. If you want to stay out, stay out. You know, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a fuck ton more than come back in. And I guess ultimately you could ask yourself the question, if I am back out there, am I happier? Certainly it's a lot better swallowing your pride and coming back in. Damn relapses. But again, Mercury's in retrograde, so I'm going to blame that.